I'll mark the destination for you.
Juno, pull the FTL's output log, starting a few minutes back from the accident.
What are you looking for?
If your android is right and the FTL accident really did create a temporal anomaly, then we should see clear evidence of the event in the output data. FTL drives don't normally rip open tunnels through time.
Not according to our experience.
Guess we're just lucky.
Maybe not. Juno, show us readings from the moment the ticks made contact with the drive. This resonance. The FTL shouldn't be creating a displacement with this signature and nowhere near this magnitude.
Then it's the biomass. Has to be. It's causing some sort of reaction in the drive.
We'll need to run some simulations.
Let's get to it then. Jack, we'll be on standby.
Acknowledged. Juno, this appears to be some sort of communication antenna.
A signal relay, to be exact. It's a key part of Chiron Station's intranet, as well as the external comms array. There are many more of them located throughout the station. Though, without the generator operational, we won't be able to bring them online.
Precisely. Now, stay focused.
Of course, Doctor. Jack, we can discuss these relays further once you've repaired the generator.
Copy that. This equipment is some form of dock or buoy?
Affirmative. It's one of the station's charging docks. They're set up to facilitate recharging and navigation for the various drones deployed here. Though it is worth noting that the Doctor and I have redeployed several pieces of equipment as well. Fortunately, once you complete repairs to the generator, we should be able to use the data ports on any of the equipment to restore its functionality.
Copy that. I've located the entrance.
Unfortunately, it seems the airlock is offline, most likely due to the power failure. An alternate access method will be required.
Does that mean there's another way in?
Station blueprints show an access hatch on the facility's exterior. Look for a small rectangular hatch with a red cover.
Copy that. I'll take a look outside. Access hatch located. Looks like I'll have to cut my way in.
With the generator's interior in a vacuum state, it should be safe to use your cutter here. Explosive decompression will not be an issue.
Copy that. I'm inside the facility. What's next?
The main problem is almost certainly the reactor. It's a large cylindrical structure in the facility's central chamber. The access way will take you there, though additional cutting may be required. But please, try to avoid damaging our former workplace too heavily.
Juno.
Wait, you two used to work here?
Juno and I were part of the station's biomass research team.
So you were here during the outbreak?
No, I had taken leave to pursue my theory for eliminating the biomass. By the time I returned, it was too late. There was no one left.
My God, Harlan.
Captain, please. We have work to do.
Reactor located.
Great. How's it look?
Not well. I'm seeing smoke, likely from an internal malfunction.
That explains the power outage.
And the life support failure.
Right, better open it up, Jack. See what's going on in there.
I'm opening the casing for a closer look at the reactor.
Copy that.
The reactor appears mostly intact, other than a missing part or two.
Good enough state to work, though, right?
Yes, the malfunction appears to be temporary. Install a complete set of operational cores, and the reactor should resume normal functionality.
Okay. Well, sounds like you two have got things handled.
Copy that. A bad reactor core.
You'll need replacements to get the reactor running again, Jack. The facility contains a storage area that might be worth investigating.
Thanks, Juno. A fully charged core. Hopefully, still able to make clean contact with the reactor.
Now simply rotate the core clockwise until it stops turning.
Core is locked in.
Excellent.
This data tile appears to still be intact.
Despite their small size, data tiles make for excellent external storage. I advise scanning it so that we can retrieve its contents. Scan successful. Interesting. Shortly before the outbreak, the engineers developed a means of optimizing the power flow of the reactor. Jack, if you can find more data on this, I may be able to adapt these principles to your integrated cutter.
How much more data?
Uncertain. Without possessing the actual data, it's impossible to measure its size. Nonetheless, I've made an entry in the data tab on your ARM computer. I anticipate only a few more scans will be required, though.
Acknowledged. I'll keep watch for more data ports. Some type of local data storage?
Correct. Insert enough of them into a database terminal, and the terminal's data port will become available to scan.
This database terminal runs off of cartridges. Unusual.
Backup data storage, in case of power loss. For it to function properly, all the cartridges must be installed.
Well, I always blow on them first for luck. But each to their own.
I'm afraid Jack's shell isn't equipped with an apparatus appropriate for that operation. Nice work, Jack. Much of the data here will prove useful in augmenting your cutter. Unfortunately, we will need more to complete the design. But I did find something that might be of interest. A voice memo from the station's chief engineer regarding the technology. I've added it to your ARM computer's data tab, Jack.
Hey everyone, I wanted to send a quick update to just our team before the news goes wide. We did it. As of about 6 minutes ago, we flipped the switch on the new reaction management system. We're seeing a stable 72% increase in outflow with a peak at almost 90%. For those keeping score, that's 12% above projections. Hell of a job, everyone. This will save lives.
news, Jack. With the data you just collected, I expect we need only one more scan to complete the design.
Juno, I need you to run the math on these sim parameters.
Yes, Doctor.
Dr. Harlan, why did you have to leave the station? There seems to be plenty of biomass.
That is all highly evolved. I need the base genetic material, and that can only be found in an undetonated biomass torpedo. There was nothing more I could do from here.
Right. Then what brought you back? Did you know the station had...
I'm sorry, Captain Rhodes, but we do not have time for me to recount my entire life story. I was here. I lived. And when I came back, everyone was dead or gone.
All right. Fine.
Why don't I simply compile an archive of the logs covering our time away from the station? That way the captain can review them at her leisure.
If you must, but after you've finished verifying the sim parameters.
Very well. I will let you know when I finish, Captain.
Thanks, Juno.
Excellent. That did indeed provide sufficient data. Just give me a moment to process everything. Stand by. Schematic complete. Please head to the nearest fabricator so we can install the improvement to your cutter.
Empty racks here. Were they running low on supplies?
Negative. However, among the facility's final logs are inventory requests of unusually high quantities. I presume anyone who managed to escape the station must have brought the supplies with them.
Let's hope such was the case. Must have been a horrid scramble.
I'll probably have to cut my way through from the other side.
Integration successful. Your shell's reactive cutter has been refitted with extended range and efficiency.
Well done, Juno.
The pleasure was mine. And please, restrict cutting to non-critical equipment.
I've managed to open the hatch leading to the storage area.
Splendid. The area should now be accessible through the maintenance duct below. Captain, I've finished compiling the log data you requested.
Great. Can you pass it to my ARM computer, Juno? Actually, best send it to Jack as well.
Of course. Jack, I've added it to your data tab.
Wow, this is some archive.
It was an illuminating expedition. I took the liberty of segmenting the log entries. Feel free to review them at your own pace.
If you two have finished, I've input the parameters for the next sim.
Of course, Doctor. Seizing faster than light travel in 3, 2, 1. FTL jump complete. We're approximately 450,000 kilometers from Earth.
Perfect. Bring us in slow and begin long-range scans.
Of course, Doctor. For the scan criteria, shall I use the same parameters as those when we examined the Kronos remnants? Or perhaps from the wreckage of the unknown vessel?
Both, and factor in the fleet's travel time. Kronos incident, plus 4 months.
I already have. Beginning sweep.
And now, we wait. There has to be at least one torpedo left. Somewhere in that mess.
Analysis complete.
And
Negative. Shall I broaden our search criteria?
no. Anything beyond these parameters would be too far removed from the base genetic material. Let's see. Most of the fleet fell to the surface. The Ithaca was of sufficient mass.
Second core installed.
Doctor, I
Acknowledged.
cannot permit
Please
such an
visit
action.
one of the nearby
The
consoles to
biomass
bring the
particulate
reactor
levels
back
in the
online.
atmosphere. Analysis complete.
And
Negative. Shall I broaden our search criteria?
no. Anything beyond these parameters would be too far removed from the base genetic material. Let's see. Most of the fleet fell to the surface. The Ithaca was of sufficient mass that perhaps it might.
Doctor, I cannot permit such an action. The biomass particulate levels in the atmosphere are extreme. Even if we were to safely make planetfall, we would
I
not.
know, Juno. Damn it. 14 months of searching.
Dr. Harlan, if I may.
Yes, I know. There's nothing to be gained here or anywhere. Set a course back to the station. Perhaps.
Dr. Harlan, I merely wish to remind you that both the Kronos and the Ithaca had something in common.
No, they were both overrun by biomass. I am aware.
Yes, but both were property of the Atlas Corporation as well.
I fail to see the relevance, Juno. Atlas has long been defunct.
Indeed. However, while the company itself is no longer in operation, remnants of its headquarters persist here, on Luna.
Luna.
Yes. Given the corporation's broad interests, I think it is highly likely that they retained relevant information.
Or even hardware. They developed FTL technology by pilfering it from that unknown vessel, didn't they?
That is what the logs on Titan indicated, yes. I suppose it is possible that they might have salvaged one of the biotorpedoes as well.
If they managed to obtain one that have not detonated yet, with an intact incubator.
Then they might have already sequenced the base genetic material.
Exactly. It's a lot to hope for, but you're right, Juno. We should investigate Luna. Set a course.
I already have. Prepare for acceleration in 3, 2, 1.
The reactor is back online.
The power hasn't returned here on the ship yet.
Jack, power still needs to be distributed from here to the ship, as well as the rest of the station. The control room has a console you can use to perform this final step.
Juno, this is incredible. Coming here was an excellent idea.
Dr. Harlan, I must again insist that you return to the ship. Conditions here are not conducive to...
No, listen to this. The ship that destroyed the Kronos 2 was called the Astrea. It was an Atlas vessel from the future. Do you have any idea what this means? The implications are staggering.
Doctor, please. Now that you have established an uplink, I am quite capable of extracting these archives. I would much rather you peruse them from the safety of the Argos.
Yes, just another minute, Juno. Look here. They learned all this from a partially functional adjutant they found aboard the ship.
Partially functional does not suggest a high degree of credibility.
They ran metrics. Anyway, it seems once they linked it to a diagnostic Terminal, it made rapid progress through the firewalls and exhaustively pored over the data stores,
How polite.
at which point it concluded that because the vessel, the Astrea, had been displaced in time, the activation of its auxiliary drive bay had partially reversed that displacement.
I am unsure what that means, Doctor.
Yes. It seems that several hours after the vessel arrived here, there was an enormous burst of energy. And then half the ship disappeared instantaneously, just as suddenly as it had arrived. And this adjutant concluded that disappearance corresponded with activating the auxiliary drive bay, thereby sending half the vessel back to its original space-time coordinates. Saturn orbit in 25.
Jack, power distribution may be
37.
completed by
Juno,
using the console in the control
Do you
room.
know what this means?
That you should return to the Argos at once?
Yes, I'll head back now. But prepare us to return to Chiron Station. The Astrea could reappear in as little as 15 months from now. We need to prepare for its arrival. If we are in luck, it will still have undetonated torpedo in its hull.
Of course, Doctor. Now please be careful making your way back to the airlock. Distribution complete. Power grid stabilized. Life support systems optimal.
Well done, Jack. We're getting full power here.
How is progress on your end?
Dr. Harlan's still running sims, but I think we at least have a working theory.
All the models we've run so far appear to confirm biomass interaction with an active FTL triggers an abnormal buildup of energy within the drive, resulting in the formation of a temporal anomaly.
For reasons we still don't fully understand.
It is also unclear why the accident only caused the android's software to travel through time, as opposed to the more physical time jumps we've observed with the Astrea. But at this point, I'm willing to accept these ambiguities and proceed.
Wait, what exactly are you saying?
We must try it again.
What, send Jack back in time again? You've got to be kidding me.
It's the only way. Any chance we have of eliminating the biomass lies with finding an undetonated torpedo. We must send the android back.
You talk like he's expendable.
Of course he is. All of us are. We've seen how it spreads. Eradicating the biomass is going to take everything we have, and then some.
Yeah, well, it's not just up to you, is it? Jack, what do you think?
If the end result is you being cured, is that not the best course of action?
Are you sure? There are so many unknowns here.
There does not appear to be another way of obtaining the data required. Waiting for an alternative presents a far greater risk to your safety. And your safety
Is your primary concern, right? Should have seen that coming. Fine. I'm on board. So what's next?
We're going to have to recreate the circumstances of the time travel accident.
Oh, don't tell me.
We're going to need biomass. Contained biomass samples specifically. The research facility should serve our purposes nicely.
There is one other problem. The FTL accident depleted the drive's fuel cells, and we don't have the supplies to refill them.
Then our best bet for a fuel cell will be the remnants of the Astrea. However, exploring that area may be difficult. Pesky shipboard defense protocols somehow remain active. Something off with the AI, Juno says.
Could be just as dangerous as dealing with the biomass, really. Well, Jack, what's up first? Grab some creepy crawlies from the research facility? Or dig up a fuel cell for the FTL drive?
I can see now that Chiron Station is quite expansive. I'd prefer to take a moment to get my bearings before getting started.
Good idea, Jack. Get a feel for what we're getting into.
Incidentally, there is likely a significant amount of data we can recover throughout the various facilities.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, Juno.
So when Jack eventually returns with these volatile materials, where exactly do we plan to store them?
I believe I can convert elements of the refueling depot to suit our needs.
Need a hand?
Why, yes, Captain. Your assistance would be most appreciated.
Anything's better than just sitting here. Come on, Popcorn. Let's get ready to head out.
Good luck out there. See you soon.
Charging dock restored to operational status. You may recharge your shield as needed. Though, interesting. I believe I may have found a secondary use for restoring these docks, recovering their local data, specifically because the docks normally maintain a coordination and optimization network. They contain shared data from across the station. Prior to the generator going offline, the units in irradiated areas were sharing optimizations that I believe could still be used to improve your multispectral shielding, Jack.
Scanning further docks should provide the necessary data?
Yes, I believe so. I've added a tracker to your data tab.
Juno, status.
Multiple impacts, no discernible hull breaches yet. The station appears to have absorbed the brunt of it. Habitat B has...
Forget the station. It's a lost cause.
Understood. Drones are responding. The situation is normalizing, but the vessel still appears highly unstable.
That's not surprising, given what it's been through. Begin scanning immediately. I don't want to lose our chance of finding a torpedo.
Of course, Doctor. Patrol drones are inbound making a pass now. Doctor, we have detected a human life sign.
Survivor?
It appears so. Shall I make contact?
Yes. And do what you can to make this transition easy for them. I'm sure they must be disoriented.
Indeed. I'll use the data we obtained on Luna to formulate an appropriate response.
Good. And what about the torpedoes?
I'm still sweeping the wreckage. Nothing as of yet.
We should prioritize the rescue anyway. Survivor from another timeline. But only one. What they must have seen.
Doctor, I've made contact. The survivor is one Captain Olivia Rhodes.
That name. Where have I had?
That was, or rather is, the name of the Kronos 2 captain.
From when the Astrea first arrived.
Indeed. Her speech patterns are a 99.7% identical match with those from the distress signal we recovered from the Atlas logs. It appears she was not killed in the destruction of the Kronos 2 after all.
So she's from our past, then.
I believe so, yes.
Then, well, she won't be able to help us. Is Habitat A intact?
It is, yes.
Move her there. Once I finish developing the cure, we can figure out what to do next.
Shall I inform her of...
No, too much to explain, and we don't have time for distractions. She'll be in the dark for a few days at most, but her new surroundings will be an easier pill to swallow when we have a cure in hand.
Understood, Doctor. There also appears to be an operational android with her. Shall I?
Yes, fine. As soon as they're safe, begin the salvage operation.